we're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we know the New World Order works off problem, reaction, solution, and then also the Hegelian dialectic. Now we have the Eviction Moratorium, and the Democrats want to get the CDC to extend it after the courts say the CDC shouldn't have done it in the first place. Now we know eventually the moratorium will end. We know eventually this free money will end. We know that we're waiting for the reaction from the people begging the government for a solution, and we know what that solution is. Cryptocurrencies, that is correct. They want everything tracked, your privacy out the window, and then plus tell you what, when, and where to buy. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Throughout most of the pandemic, the federal government has been able to prevent many evictions for people who are behind on their rent. That's due in large part to a moratorium or ban imposed by the Centers for Disease Control and tied to public health concerns. But the Supreme Court has said that the moratorium must expire unless Congress passes new legislation. It ends this weekend. As John Yang tells us, there's great concern about what could happen next to millions of people.
Judy, according to the most recent census data, more than 6 million Americans are behind on their rent, and nearly 1 million say eviction is very likely for them in the next 2 months.
The moratorium for eviction is a COVID initiative related to the intensity of the issue. And for $46 billion was allocated both in the year-end omnibus last December, as well as in the rescue package, $46 billion. This money has largely gone out to the states and local governments to implement and to give to the renters so they can pay the rent, which helps the landlords, of course, too. And the fact is that almost $50 billion was allocated, $46 billion. Less than 10% of that has been spent. Around $3 billion is reported to me, but let's say it would be 10%. Why should the renters be punished for the fact that the system did not put money in their pockets to pay the rent to the landlords? So that's where we come to this. It's like, well, CDC, you have defined this, and these people have not gotten the money. So I think this is something that will work out. It isn't about any more money. The money is there, resting in localities and governor's offices across the country. So we would like the CDC to expand the moratorium. That's where it can be done. And then, and of course, with the public message of governors, mayors, et cetera, give the money for its purpose to the renters. So this is to me a very an imperative that it be done, and that as I say, timing is not everything on this, except that the moratorium ends. But again, if they know that the money will be released, then we'll go there. There are all kinds of talk among lawyers who thought this and that in the executive branch. I don't know. I don't want to be critical of what they have because they just made the statement yesterday. But we're not going away from this issue, whether it's now or shortly thereafter. It is, I mean, have you ever seen an eviction? Sometimes even the law enforcement people go into these apartments are crying because they know they're going to do something that's going to put babies' cribs out on the street, personal belongings out on the street. It happens like that. Passers-by can even take that stuff. These people have been evicted, now have to find another place to live, to take this stuff that's now been on the street. It is the most heart-wrenching and so in defiance of everything that we say we are about in the Gospel of Matthew. When I needed shelter, you gave it to me. That the words of the Lord. So I think that this is something that fairness and justice has to be done. We'll ensure that it does. That say we are about in the Gospel of Matthew. When I needed shelter, you gave it to me. That the words of the Lord. So that we say we are about in the Gospel of Matthew. When I needed shelter, you gave it to me. That the words of the Lord. So I think that this...
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.